Yo, what is up, guys? It's Benji, and today I'm going to be doing a short and sweet video on how to get better at laning. This is going to be the first episode, hopefully, of many. And I was going to do a super long, overcomplicated, convoluted video, but instead, I think we can do this in under 5 so you guys aren't wasting your time. So the thing that I want to talk about is back timings. Even really good players don't actually come into lane with a plan a lot of the time, and that's just because it becomes a part of their subconscious. They don't even need to really think about it much. But for you, if you're trying to improve and get better, it is the most important thing because it's something you can literally plan out before level 1, before load screen, in champion select. You can start thinking about this. So let's get right into some examples, okay? If you're playing Ezreal and you're against a Vayne, you guys both want to back around the same timing. A Sheen costs 1050, Berserker Greaves are 1100. Where you might go wrong is when you overstay past that point and you go 350 gold over that, and then all of a sudden Vayne can back with a Zerkers and a longsword, whereas you're not able to spend a lot of the extra gold that you've accrued, so it becomes pointless. So the thing that you need to think about is how you're going to control the wave and how you're going to look for a back timing according to how much gold you have and when you need to back. In Ezreal's case, Ezreal's not going to be able to control the wave whatsoever early against Vayne, but once he hits level 3, he then has an opportunity to fight her within minions, and all of a sudden you can look to play aggressive and potentially trade yourself into a very volatile situation in hopes of finding a back. In that case, once you take the back, she's either forced to back with you or overstay, in which case she's going to get punished. So basically, if you back, your opponent wants to back too. If they don't, then you have an opportunity to punish them and keep them there longer on the map, and it's extremely difficult for them to play the game at that point, and that could also happen to you, and you want to avoid that. So let's say you get stuck in lane. You can't always control it. Sometimes you have a boosted support, the jungle gap is the size of the Grand Canyon, and the enemy mid laner is a Talon. There's nothing you can do. There actually is. So let's say you don't get to back on the Sheen, the Vayne does get the extra longsword. Well, at that point, you want to stay in lane even longer, and you want to try to get the next echelon of item buys. See, if the Sheen and the Zerkers are here, the longsword is here, then at that point, the only thing you can look for is to get the tier in the pickaxe, which is here at 1800 gold. And, you know, if she gets Zerkers plus a Vamp Scepter, which let's say is here, then your next buy is Manamune here. See, at every level, there's a differential, and if she gets that optimal back, whereas you don't, it could completely hinder your early game. And because you didn't even really think about it, you don't even know why it's going wrong. Whereas if you just got the exact item spike that you needed, you'd actually be able to control your lane despite the fact that your support is watching 13 Reasons Why on the other monitor and you feel like Hannah Baker. So basically, there are a few ways to handle this and a few ways to look for this. The first is when the wave gets pushed into your tower because they're trying to take your plates or they're trying to poke you on your tower, whatever. When the wave is pushing out, it's going to be really dangerous for them to walk up and push it because it's going to slowly stack up on your side, and they have to cross the river in order to CS it and push it back, which is extremely risky. And if they don't know where the jungler is, they're not going to want any of this. So if you slow push it, that just means completely last hitting and not fast pushing it, not using any abilities or extra auto attacks on the wave. It'll build. You'll have 2 minion waves to crash in their tower, and when that happens, it's very difficult to freeze, and you should be able to get a free reset. Now, if they don't allow you to do that and they're pushing into your tower and then they're the ones getting the back, maybe off a slow push of their own, then you can start to get greedy and maybe a little risky, you know? Maybe you have some forethought, you put a ward in the middle of the lane, you see them backing, you go past the minion wave, you stop their back, you know? You realize that it could be game losing if they get this back off. Well, you're not able to, so you do everything in your power to stop it. Another thing you can do is freeze, because if you freeze, then it's going to make them not want to reset because they're just going to lose a bunch of minions for free, and nobody wants to do that in a lane that they're winning. The last thing that you can do is if you traded very carefully early and you recognize that you weren't going to win early, you can wait for a power spike and you can try to take an all-in and use summoners with the goal of getting control on one wave. All it takes is controlling one wave to get that back off, so that's all you need to look for. Some champions scale really well with levels. If you're playing a mage bot lane, for example, level 5 is going to be a huge spike for you because you get 3 points in the skill that you're maxing. And then it's going to be potentially favorable for you to take an all-in that otherwise wasn't. So those are the things that you need to look for. As you can see in the clip that I'm showing you guys, the first option I gave you is what happened in this game in particular, where I just ended up getting some poke on the Vayne at level 3, and then I slow push that wave into her. I get my free perfect back off. And the trap that you could easily fall for here is sticking around to punish this Vayne further. She had no health boss, she had no biscuits, and she was half HP. A lot of players in my position here would just stay, they'd greed, they'd try to punish the Vayne even more, but the ultimate punishment of anyone is getting the back off that you want, because when you play for particular item spikes, it completely influences the early game, and a good early game leads to a good mid game, and so on. When you make good decisions follow. It's that simple. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys, and I'm glad you watched the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe below, and I'm going to be doing more of these, so yeah, make sure to check them out. Peace, guys.